So this was just shared last week. Border Patrol video showing children being dropped from border wall. Now watch, it's a little disturbing for parents. If you're watching this, just take a look at this. Go ahead, Kai. Took him all the way up to the wall, to the gate. Look at that. How old is that kid, by the way, Rick?
3 and 5.
Oh, they said it 3 and 5?
3 and 5.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the one. Boom. How far is that drop? 6 feet?
No. Oh, no. No. 14 feet.
Holy moly.
To 14. It's like them dropping Dylan in center.
Oh, my gosh.
From a 14-foot wall.
Look at the kid is still laying on the ground.
Yeah. I think they dropped the little one next. I think that's the 5-year-old, and then I think that's the 3-year-old, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, buddy.
Or something like that.
Me a break.
Or the other way around.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they throw whatever package they gave. And by the way, Pat, let me. Here's the reality behind things. And then they ran. Here's the reality behind things. This happens every day. Mm-hmm. They just happen to catch it. Mm-hmm. This happens every day. You know, I live 4 hours from. No, here. Of course not. Especially right now. I live 4 hours from the border. I lived in Mexico. I went to school in Mexico. You know, we're very familiar with what happens in Mexico. One thing is to, and by the way, not by, and I mean this with all due respect, not by whitewash Mexicans that watch the news and think they know.
Right.
We have family there. We have family in Tijuana. We have family at the border, Mexicali.
Yep.
We know what's going on. We go visit there. We go, our families, the Mexican families, like for our grandparents, doctors are there. Like, we're always there. We know what's going on. The Mexican community knows what's going on with the Mexican community, right? So to me, it's interesting. And I'm not because it is your right. It is your right to have your opinion. I think it's very interesting when non-Mexican people want to have an opinion on what's going on with the border when they have no family there, no direct connection, no phone call. Hey, what's going on? That you know, it's like me having an opinion on a country that I've never lived in. And then, you know, like when I want to know about a certain country, I ask the person. Like I talk to your sister, tell me about, you know, what's going on in Iran, what happened. You know, I talk to you about it. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know, right? And I could try to read articles all I want that are edited by somebody else that has also no freaking idea on what's going on and think that they know what's going on. So, you know, the reality is this happens all the time. And the Mexican community, we knew this was going to happen. We knew it. And on top of that, it's music to the cartels. It's music to their ears. They said, open borders, let's go. It was the stupidest thing ever. You know, everybody wants to seem like they're, everybody wants to seem like they're woke and thinking that that was a good idea. It was a horrible idea.
Why? Tell us why.
33% of women. Okay, so the more south you live over the border,
yeah,
the women are being raped and murdered. So 33% of Mexican women are being raped. 35% are being murdered after they're raped. Okay? So when they're coming up by coyotes, 33% of the women are being raped.
By coyotes who are helping them cross the border.
By coyotes.
Or of all of Mexican women.
No. I'm sorry, migrants. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me. Okay? Thank you for correcting me. The women that are coming up to the border, they're being raped by the coyotes or by fellow migrants. Okay. And then that number gets worse the more down south you go. For example, if you get to the states of Chiapas, Yucatan, Cancun, people that are migrating, the more south they come up. Mm-hmm. Salvadorians are notorious. By the way, shout out to Salvadorians. I love them. Two of my compadres are Salvadorians, my close friends. But Salvadorians, notoriously, immigrant Salvadorians hate Mexicans. Because when they're crossing, they go through Guatemala and they get treated normal. They get into Mexico, they have a rate, give or take, of 80% of their women being raped. Because now they're in Mexico illegally. So they have two options from the federal police, state police, and the military.
Can you show the map so everybody can see
so they can understand.
Just put the map of South America.
South America. So what ends up it's actually Central America.
Central America.
So what ends up happening is that these agencies are giving them one of two options. Either A, you have sex with me, or I arrest you and I deport you. So they've already done the traveling. See, there you have Guatemala, right? You have Belize, El Salvador. So if they have to go through, especially Salvadorians. So they go through Guatemala, they're cool, right? Because they're neighbors. But once
they're coming from where, Ricky?
They're coming from El Salvador.
Imagine you're in El Salvador, you're trying to bring your kids or your family to U.S. You have to go through Guatemala.
And
you also got to go through Mexico.
Right.
Obviously.
So what ends up happening, you go through El Salvador, right? And you go through Guatemala, they have to go through Mexico. But remember, the Salvadorians and Guatemalans are entering Mexico illegally. Yep. So once they come across a law enforcement agency, Mexico's corrupt. So you have one of two options. Either A, this is going to happen, or B, we're going to arrest you and deport you. So that's why illegal immigration hurts Hispanics. It hurts them because our women are being raped and murdered. A lot of them are being murdered. I have a girl on my team. She's no longer with us anymore. She's doing a different career. But she sat in front of me and she's like, I have trust issues with my boyfriend. I'm like, why? What happened? She was breaking down. She was from El Salvador. She was 16 years old, raped by 5 different men in Mexico. So it's like, it's people are like, they watch the news and we should open the border to everybody. You don't know the damage you're doing to these people. And on top of that, people seem to think it's not just your Uncle Juan that wants to come mow lawns. It's the human traffickers, the organ traffickers, the child traffickers, the sex traffickers. There's more people in trafficking than there's people that want to come work. Does that make sense? So people only think one category. My Uncle Juan that wants to come mow lawns. No, my boy. Behind him is 6 other traffickers of different organizations. It's not just your Uncle Juan that wants to come mow lawns. Does that make sense? But the media will never say that because they need the votes. And Mexicans, typically Hispanics, are very emotional. When you touch, right? And then what's the excuse for me? My parents came here illegally. But your parents came here illegally. Also, does that make it right? Should I not care about these people now that I understand how it works? Should I just keep my mouth shut? Or should I be an advocate for the truth? The truth is our women are being raped and they're being killed and these kids are being trafficked. They're grabbing kids and they're taking the organs out of them and selling them in the United States for people that are dying, old people that are dying, that are rich. They can afford these organs. So it's like, you just saw it happen. By the way, that's one image. If the border...
Play the other video with the kid that got yesterday.
They abandoned him.
Yeah, they abandoned him.
That happens all the time. None of this is new. But we know this.
Have you seen this?
Yes, I have. With the like 10-year-old kid.
Who was the guy that found the kid? Can you fast forward a little bit?
The border control?
It looks like a truck. If it's a Ford, yeah, more than likely it's going to be border control.
Look at this.
Body camera.
¿Me puede ayudar?
¿Qué pasó?
Es que yo venía con un grupo de personas y me dejaron botar y no sé dónde están.
No sé dónde está. ¿Te dejaron solo?
Pues claro, me dejaron botar.
¿Te dejaron solo botado?
Solo.
¿No vienes con mami o con papi o con alguien?
¿Ah?
¿Vienes con tu mamá o tu papá?
Nadie. Yo venía en un grupo que venía de entrega con usted y al final me dejaron botar y venía aquí a pedir auxilio.
¿Te dejaron botado y te dijeron que vinieras a pedir auxilio?
No, yo vengo porque si no, ¿por dónde me voy a ir? Allí voy a dejar y tal vez me pueden robar, secuestrar o algo.
Te pueden robar.
Tengo miedo.
¿Tienes miedo?
Sí.
Ahorita hablamos, ¿ok?
This happens all the time. This happens, and we know it. The Mexican people know it. The ones that actually sit there and understand what's going on. That's why so many,
Go back to the map.
so many first generation Hispanics are turning conservative, and they're because we're not sitting there in front of Univision listening to Jorge Ramos talk about how evil the border is. We know what's going on. The guy's just turning a blind eye. The idiot knows what's going on, but of course you got to get the ratings up. Right? And you got to get the ratings up by talking about what gets people emotionally. He cares about his career. He doesn't care about the Mexican people. You know what I mean? He's a sellout.
Let me ask you, Ricky. Forget about, just for a second, the U.S. border. Because as I'm looking at the map, and anyone can see this right now, if you're coming from Honduras or El Salvador, that ain't a short walk.
No, brother,
to go
it's not.
through all of Guatemala, to go through
I'll put it to
all
this
of
way.
Mexico, to go through Mexico City, to even make it to the border of Texas or California, Arizona, is a ridiculous trek. So walk me through the process of someone who's leaving El Salvador. Because this is not a U.S. issue at this point. This is a Mexican issue. This is a Mexican issue.
Here's the hypocrisy. Ready? Here's the hypocrisy. The Mexican president, when the first caravan came up from Honduras, had the entire military at the border to stop them. It's funny. They talk about Trump is bad and racist because he wants to build a wall. Yet the Mexican government sent all the military down to South Mexico.
Why doesn't Mexico build a wall?
They have a wall.
In the south?
Kai, can you pull up the video
But
where
the
Mexican military was holding back the caravan? Mexican military holds back the caravan at the southern border. Watch the hypocrisy. Okay, so at southern border, let me see if there's is there images? Let me see. Okay, there it is. The go down all of them. But there's a border there. They had crossed. That's the Mexican military. Well, Guatemala blocks thousands for U.S. The hypocrisy, the freaking hypocrisy. Here we are mad at the American government, but yet here's the.
Watch out with the channel. Watch out with the channel.
So here's the right there. Like for example, any of those pictures right there, right? Guatemala blocks, Guatemalan security forces.
What border is that happening on?
The Guatemalan border, because remember they got to go
Guatemala
to Guatemala
and Mexico.
And then they got to go to
this isn't
Mexico.
even a U.S. issue at this point.
No, it's every.
So at the end of the day, isn't this a Mexican issue more than anything?
Every country's sovereignty is being violated. Not just the American one, but of course Jorge Ramos is not going to tell you this. Univision, Don Lemon, AOC won't tell you this. They're not going to tell you this.
So give us some solutions that you think, because obviously it's a problem. Whether you're Republican, whether you're a Democrat, whatever you are, it's a freaking problem.
Yes.
And whether it's Obama, whether it's Trump, whether it's Biden, no one's figured out the solution. Give us the solution.
Look,
in your opinion.
Here's the reality behind things. The reality is this: every country needs to take care of their people. Okay, so maybe to a certain extent they got to get better at electing the president and start being so emotional. The reason that like for example, the president of Mexico, AMLO, he's a socialist. He's a Bernie Sanders of Mexico. How did he get voted? Emotional. Mexico's rich. So is Venezuela, by the way, with oil.
Well, they used to be, but
with the oil, right? So what ends up happening? You got to stop voting emotionally. You know, a lot of people like to blame America for the problems in other countries. We didn't tell them to vote the way they did, right? Like Maduro, Chavez. We didn't create Chavez and Maduro. They created themselves, and then people voted for them because they spoke nice. Everybody likes to blame America for other countries' problems. I have this conversation with liberals all the time. Oh, Venezuela's going to it's because of America. No, bro, it's because of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, it's not our fault.
No.
Okay, stop it. Right?
I don't know who would think that it's America's fault that people are voting
many
for.
do. Many do.
People are voting for.
Many do.
I don't know many Americans who know what the hell's going on in
Honduras.
Honduras.
Many people do.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
about? You know a lot of Americans
do.
who are very vocal on Honduras elections?
No. There are a lot of Americans that say that's the work of America. America did that to Venezuela.
And
America did that
Jorge
to Mexico.
Ramos took that stance.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And that's why he says that's why we have to take him. Right?
So Jorge Ramos is on Univision.
He's a Don Lemon of
What's his approval ratings among Latinos?
Bro, they love him.
They love him.
He is.
He's. I'll put it to you this way. I said it the other day, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Pastors no longer have priests and pastors no longer have power over the Hispanic people.
Jorge Ramos.
Jorge Ramos.
You don't know who he is? You know who he is.
I know who he is, but the audience should see him.
So now pastors and priests no longer have power over the American people.
With the J.
With the J. Jorge Ramos, right? This is a sellout. This is a sellout. So anyway, here's
but Latin Americans love him.
A lot
Latinos.
Of the old school ones. The first generation like myself no longer do. So his approval rating amongst our generation is going down. But a lot of people like him. Right?
So give us some solutions. Back to solutions.
I don't know if there is a solution, but here's the reality behind things. People, here's look, bro, I lived in Mexico. Like I said, I lived in Mexico, I went to school in Mexico, just small periods when I was there with my dad, okay? People in Mexico, they're going to show you images of like bad. We can show you images of people living in tents in LA and make it seem like that's the whole United States, okay? People in Mexico don't starve to death. People in El Salvador don't starve to death. People in Guatemala don't starve to death. That's just the truth. And some of the viewers may not agree because they watch too much news, okay? But they don't starve. I have family there. I have aunts that are missionaries that live in those countries. People don't starve.
But it's not
Africa. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's not Africa. They're not starving to death because they still have social programs, because they have money, because oil, United States gives them money. So they're not starving. You don't see with kids their ribs coming out. You just don't. So the reality is the solution is stay in your country till you can fix your papers and then come.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.